Welcome to our channel. We're thrilled to have you join us on this journey through some of the most fascinating and mysterious tales from history. If you enjoy diving into intriguing stories that challenge your imagination, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Now, picture a place so terrifying it would make your worst nightmares feel like a walk in the park. A place where reality surpasses the wildest horrors of fiction. Today, we're taking you to a lost island that nature turned into a laboratory of fear and fascination. Are you ready to uncover the chilling secrets of the most horrifying island to ever exist? Let's get started. When we think of islands, our minds conjure images of serene getaways. White sandy beaches, turquoise waters, and lush palm trees swaying in the breeze. These picturesque scenes make islands seem like havens of peace and beauty. But millions of years ago, during the Cretaceous period, islands were anything but idyllic. They were wild, untamed, and full of unexpected dangers. Europe, surprisingly, was a tropical archipelago during this time. Instead of the sprawling landmass we know today, it was a series of islands surrounded by the vast Tethys Sea. These islands were lush but treacherous, teeming with diverse life forms that adapted to their unique environments. Among these islands, one stood out for reasons that had nothing to do with beauty: Hateg Island. Unlike today's tropical paradises, Hateg Island was a land of extremes. Its isolation and limited resources turned it into a crucible for evolutionary experimentation. Creatures here developed in ways that were both fascinating and horrifying, creating an ecosystem that was equal parts mesmerizing and deadly. Welcome to the island where nature's rules were rewritten. Hatzeg Island no longer exists. Its remnants lie buried beneath layers of rock in what is now modern-day Romania. But rewind 90 million years, and this landmass was a thriving island, bustling with life. Roughly the size of Hispaniola, it sat in the middle of the ancient Tethys Sea, far from any mainland. Its isolation shaped it into a unique and eerie corner of the prehistoric world. The island's physical geography was striking. Dense forests covered its terrain, broken by clearings, rivers, and marshes. These varied landscapes provided habitats for an array of strange creatures. Yet, what set Hatzeg Island apart wasn't just its biodiversity, but the bizarre evolutionary paths its inhabitants took due to their isolation. Cut off from the rest of the world, Hatzeg Island became a natural laboratory. Evolutionary pressures pushed its creatures to adapt in unexpected ways, creating animals that looked like something out of a fever dream. This isolation not only preserved these evolutionary oddities, but also amplified them, turning the island into a breeding ground for the bizarre. Hatzeg Island's isolation, surrounded by hundreds of kilometers of water, forced its inhabitants to adapt to a resource-scarce environment. The evolutionary phenomenon known as insular dwarfism led many species to shrink in size. Limited food and confined spaces made smaller bodies more energy efficient, giving these miniature dinosaurs an edge in survival. But dwarfism was only half the story. In some cases, isolation had the opposite effect. Predators that faced little competition evolved to enormous sizes, a process known as insular gigantism. Without larger predators to keep them in check, some species grew into terrifying giants, dominating the island's ecosystem in both land and sky. The result was a paradoxical ecosystem, a world of tiny herbivores scurrying to survive under the shadow of gigantic predators. Hatzeg Island became a place of extremes, where the laws of evolution produced creatures unlike anything seen elsewhere on Earth. It was a Darwinian battlefield shaped by scarcity, isolation, and survival of the fittest. Unlike the towering giants that roamed the mainland, the dinosaurs of Hatzeg Island were surprisingly small. These creatures, affected by the phenomenon of insular dwarfism, had evolved to cope with the island's limited resources. Over generations, their bodies adapted to the constraints of their environment, resulting in a unique class of diminutive dinosaurs. Among the herbivores were species like the Magyarosaurus, a sauropod that would have been considered tiny compared to its mainland relatives. While most sauropods could grow over 20 meters long, Magyarosaurus rarely exceeded 6 meters, a drastic reduction in size. Despite their smaller stature, these dinosaurs were incredibly resourceful, feeding on the lush vegetation that covered the island. But these weren't the only downsized dinosaurs. Predatory species like the Balor Bondoc, a distant relative of velociraptors, were also significantly smaller than their counterparts on the mainland. Balor Bondoc compensated for its size with its ferocity and agility. Armed with sharp claws and a robust build, it was a nimble predator that likely relied on speed and precision to hunt the island's herbivores. While the miniature dinosaurs navigated the island's challenges, the skies above were dominated by an entirely different kind of threat: the giant pterosaurs. These flying reptiles were unlike anything we know today. Far from the graceful birds we see in modern skies, pterosaurs combined massive size with predatory efficiency, making them the apex predators of Hatzeg Island. 3 main types of pterosaurs ruled this prehistoric domain. The smallest, Urasdarko, had a wingspan of around 3 meters, relatively modest compared to its larger relatives. Next was the Albadraco, whose 7-meter wingspan made it a truly formidable presence. But even these impressive creatures paled in comparison to the king of them all, Hatzegopterus, a predator so massive and terrifying it redefined the word monstrous. These pterosaurs weren't just rulers of the skies. They were apex predators in every sense, hunting both in the air and on the ground. Their sharp beaks, powerful wings, and keen eyesight gave them an edge over their prey. For the dinosaurs below, these predators were a constant threat, an airborne nightmare from which there was little escape. Albadraco was a standout predator on Hatzeg Island, sitting firmly in the middle of the pterosaur hierarchy. With its 7-meter wingspan, this creature was larger than most modern birds, but smaller than its larger cousin, Hatzegopterus. Despite its mid-tier size, Albadraco was anything but average. It was a terror of its time. This pterosaur's defining feature was its massive skull, perfectly designed for crushing bones and devouring prey. Its sharp, hooked beak allowed it to tear through flesh with ease, making it a relentless predator of smaller dinosaurs and other creatures on the island. Even though it was not the largest of its kind, Albadraco wielded a unique combination of speed, strength, and precision that made it a nightmare for its prey. Taller than the average human, and with the wingspan of a small plane, Albadraco was a constant presence in the skies of Hatzeg. Its ability to stalk prey both from above and on the ground made it a versatile and highly efficient predator. To the miniature dinosaurs of the island, Albadraco was an ever-present reminder of the dangers lurking in their peculiar ecosystem. Towering above all other creatures on Hatzeg Island, Hatzegopterus was the ultimate apex predator. With a staggering wingspan of 12 meters, wider than many modern fighter jets, this colossal pterosaur dominated both the skies and the land. Its imposing presence was a constant reminder of the raw power of evolution in an isolated ecosystem. Hatzegopterus wasn't just enormous, it was also incredibly robust. Its skeleton was built for strength, enabling it to support its massive body during flight and on the ground. Standing at 5 meters tall, this creature rivaled the height of a giraffe, while its head alone measured an astonishing 2.5 meters in length. Its sheer size made it nearly invincible against any potential challengers in its environment. Despite its bulk, Hatzegopterus was a deadly predator, not a lumbering giant. Its long, muscular neck gave it the leverage to deliver powerful strikes, while its razor-sharp beak could pierce through flesh and bone with ease. This combination of size, strength, and precision made Hatzegopterus an unparalleled predator, capable of hunting juvenile dinosaurs and other prey with devastating efficiency. Hatzegopterus wasn't merely a large creature, it was a finely tuned killing machine. Its massive blade-like beak was its primary weapon, capable of slicing through even the toughest hides. This pterosaur likely used its sharp beak to stab or crush its prey, delivering quick, lethal blows before consuming its catch. Whether hunting from the skies or stalking prey on the ground, Hatzegopterus was a force to be reckoned with. Its height and wingspan weren't just for intimidation, they gave it an unparalleled advantage in both hunting and survival. From the air, it could scan vast stretches of land for potential prey, using its keen eyesight to spot movement below. On land, its towering stature allowed it to dominate the smaller dinosaurs that populated the island, making it a dual threat in any environment. Even the island's more formidable creatures were not safe from Hatzegopterus. Juvenile sauropods, small herbivores, and other pterosaurs likely fell victim to its predatory prowess. Its presence at the top of the food chain was unchallenged, cementing its role as the ultimate predator in Hatzeg Island's ecosystem of nightmares. Hatzeg Island wasn't just a home for terrifying predators, it was an entire ecosystem shaped by extremes. From the miniature herbivores that darted between the dense undergrowth to the colossal pterosaurs that ruled the skies, every creature on the island played a part in this bizarre and brutal food web. It was an environment of constant survival, where the rules of nature were rewritten. The island's isolation amplified the tension of its ecosystem. Limited resources meant that every creature had to fight for survival, whether through adaptability, cunning, or brute strength. For the dwarf dinosaurs, survival meant avoiding the clutches of predators like Albadraco and Hatzegopterus. For the predators, survival meant outcompeting one another for every meal. This constant struggle created an atmosphere of perpetual chaos. Hatzeg Island was not a place of harmony. It was a battleground. From the ground to the skies, danger lurked everywhere. Yet it was precisely this chaotic ecosystem that made Hatzeg Island so unique, an evolutionary stage where only the fiercest and most adaptable could endure. Hatzeg Island offers a remarkable window into how isolation shapes evolution. When species are confined to a limited environment with scarce resources, nature's rules shift and unexpected adaptations arise. This evolutionary laboratory demonstrates the powerful forces of insular dwarfism, gigantism, and resource-driven specialization, which have shaped species in ways that challenge our understanding of survival. One of the key lessons from Hatzeg Island is how isolation drives diversity. When species are cut off from the mainland, they must adapt to a unique set of conditions. Limited competition can allow predators to grow larger and more dominant, while resource scarcity can push herbivores towards smaller, more energy-efficient forms. The result is a fascinating mix of evolutionary strategies that would never occur in more connected ecosystems. Finally, Hatzeg Island reminds us of the fragile balance of ecosystems and how quickly conditions can change. While it thrived for millions of years, this unique environment eventually disappeared as the Tethys Sea retreated and the island reconnected to larger landmasses. Its creatures could not compete with mainland species, leading to their extinction. Hatzeg Island stands as a testament to the temporary and extraordinary nature of evolution's experiments. Hatzeg Island may have vanished from the map millions of years ago, but its story continues to captivate and terrify. It was a land where miniature dinosaurs scurried to survive, and colossal predators ruled the skies with brutal efficiency. This lost world is a reminder of nature's unpredictability and the incredible adaptations that isolation can create. So, if you had the chance, would you step foot on Hatzeg Island? Could you imagine walking among its pint-sized herbivores, all while keeping an eye on the skies for the shadow of Hatzegopterus? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more incredible stories from history. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.